You too. And oh my goodness, this event has worked and people are actually in the event. They've checked in. I can see the check-ins.
We did it. Mine say we did it, you didn't. We used the thing. The thing.
Yes. Hooray. Dynamics marketing or customer insights journeys actually has worked. I guess before we get started, we've got people already in the session. So could you just go ahead, just so Amey and I know we're not sort of talking just to ourselves, can you just put in the chat that you can hear us and maybe where you are, just so that we know? That would be brilliant. Don't say anyone typing yet. So hooray! Amsterdam, one of my favorite places. I love it. That's brilliant. Okay, so Amey, it has worked. We can continue safely knowing that it's all good. Oh, awesome. We've got Sweden, we've got Norway, we've got Germany. Oh, international fans. So we have very little to talk about in terms of August's release, but obviously we've got other things that we can talk through. But I don't know how many people have actually looked at the August release. It's a bit sparse, shall we say? Let me go ahead and share my screen. And by the way, if you guys have questions or comments, oh yes, someone from London. If you've got any comments, questions, please just put them in the chat. We'll have a look through them as we're going and answer whatever we can. So let me just share. All right, so hopefully you can see that. So August update. So I always go to it, and sometimes, Amey, like we probably have an awareness of what. Say again?
You can't even see it. Like, where is it?
I know, exactly. It's like one thing, but sometimes we have a bit of an understanding or a bit of like sort of a head notice that there's some stuff coming. So you're like, oh, I'm waiting for this thing. And sometimes you go to it and you're like, I have no idea what's going to actually be in here. And when I opened it, I was like, I'm sorry, but this is like pitiful. So we actually only have, well, we'll come back to the IP address stuff up here, but the actual only enhancement is this one right here.
It's pretty exciting though. Like we say only.
It's valuable, but it's like when you go to it and you've just got one thing to look at, it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, so this is on forms, where if you consider somebody fills out a form and they're already in your system, so they're already in Dynamics, and let's say that they've already got a phone number on there, they've already got their address on there, but those same fields are on your form and they don't fill them out this time, you haven't made them required, then if the value is empty on the form and they submit it, it was basically setting that as an empty value and you were losing all the data. So it's not on by default on a form. So you would have to go and look at all of your existing forms and actually toggle that on. Yeah. Have you looked at it? Used it?
Not yet. I found it the other day while I was doing a form. I was like, oh yeah, turn that on. Didn't think about any implications. I was feeling a bit cowboy in the day. But I wonder if it's in the form settings as the default. I didn't check there yet.
I don't think it is.
Because it would obviously only apply to new forms. But that's always good to do as a bit of a setup thing, because I don't know a reason why you wouldn't want that to be on, to be honest. It's kind of my vibe on that one.
No, it is not there. It's just got the pre-fill fields and the web tracking, but no ignore empty values. So yes, if you haven't already looked, then definitely go ahead and look at all your forms and look at your clients' forms. And like I said, any new form, it will be on there. And set by default. I guess that's probably why it's not in the, well, I don't see why anyone would leave that off, right?
I can't either. That's my issue here. Like, why would you not?
Yeah, doesn't make sense to not use it. But anyway, so have a look at your forms, because your existing ones, it will not be set. Oh, I had a interesting issue with just randomly on forms just because it might help someone. So I had an issue yesterday, or I've had an issue that's been ongoing and figured out yesterday. So on a client, you know how we've got here in the form settings, we've got all this lead contact mapping stuff. So this is where you've got a form that is lead and contact, and then it says, oh, when I'm adding my fields, it's like, okay, first name and it's contact and lead, first name, last name, and maybe you've just got company name from lead, whatever. So there was a client of mine who was having issues when they were trying to have form submissions and they weren't getting processed correctly. Turns out it has worked fine forever, but it turns out that if you've got stuff missing in here, even though it used to work on your existing forms and it used to be fine, it seems to be now stopping form submissions coming through. So it wasn't even like allowing the form submission to be created. So I've had an issue with Microsoft Open on it, but I don't know if anyone's ever really looked at their lead and contact mapping. But for some of my clients, it's been empty.
But most users don't have access to do this because this actually creates an unmanaged layer. Because this is actually configuration.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't. And they shouldn't be doing generate mappings directly from here, even if they do have access. Yeah. But yeah, it was like, there was like maybe 2 lines in here or something, but it has worked for ages. And then all of a sudden it stopped working. And then when we look in here, it's like, oh, that's because it's never been configured. So I think they've changed something recently with forms to where it used to just be like, okay, I'll let you skate through and we'll create the form submission. But yeah.
Right.
Little bit strange, but anyway. So IP addresses, what do you know about this whole
I have
stuff?
No idea. So I got to this and I was like, la 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 la, real-time journey, something about custom reporting, don't use it. Okay, done. I didn't do anything.
Isn't it? Yeah, so I'm curious, and actually anyone that is on if you have done anything for your clients or your own organization where you've needed to allow or basically whitelist IP addresses to be able to use customer insights journeys, I would love to know.
Oh god. I just realized I have.
Oh, have you? Come on then, share.
Yes. So it's usually customers where they've got really tight email security. The only place it really becomes an issue is when they want to test send from their domain back into their domain.
Yes.
And the email protection, usually Mimecast, thinks it's spam because it came from outside, but it's coming from an inside email and it blocks it. So you have to whitelist the IPs in there to allow you to test send to your internal domain.
Thank you. Yes, you're 100% correct. As soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, because I've got so many clients that have had that issue where they're like, oh, we can't send it to ourselves because IT has been overzealous, or maybe not. So maybe it's a common thing. I don't know. But yeah, so but the original message was very vague and wishy-washy. And
I've never had problems with it sending to other people, always just when you're trying to send internal.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's good because now I can actually explain it.
Yeah, now I need to do something with it. I've just realized.
Okay, well, I'm glad we talked about it. So Wolfgang said, not sure if the pre-filling of form fields works correctly. When I registered for this very session, my form is pre-filled with the Microsoft employee's contact details. What?
That's concerning, isn't it?
That is very concerning. Oh, okay, here's what I am thinking, Wolfgang, and you can confirm if this is accurate. Did you by chance see a post on LinkedIn from somebody and click on a link from that by any chance? And here's why. So a lovely person at Microsoft that does, I can't think of is it the Microsoft Dynamics community page? Yeah. And they've shared my content quite a few times, and they put in a link to the news. Yes. Okay. So this is because
it's
somebody
working brilliantly in that case.
So what happened was they shared the link. I'm not going to name names. They shared the link to the newsletter in their LinkedIn post, and I was like, oh, that's nice, and I clicked on it. What they've done is, the view in browser thing that's come up a few times and we talked about, and someone was creating a library of previous emails, and we said, oh, don't do that. They shared a link to their version of the email, and then you've probably clicked on it and then gone through and clicked on to it. So that's great. That is awesome that it works multiple times. Clicking on that and then clicking on the link to register.
That's so funny.
That's really weird. Wolfgang, when you said that, that really concerned me, and until I realized, and so I actually emailed. Yes, that's really bad. I emailed the guy at Microsoft and just said, hey, I noticed this. So I did actually tell him, and then he changed the link. So good.
Right, and you must have got him before then. How funny.
Isn't that bad though? So that actually, if anyone is on the call that has thought about creating a library of emails and using the view in browser link, it should be a lesson that could actually cause issues depending on what is in your email and what those links are going to do. So yeah, that's good to know.
Interesting. Funny, how topical. It's like a full circle. Well done, Inspector. No, what is it? Investigator Walker.
Thanks, Wolfgang. I appreciate you sharing that. That's good to know. So as I said, this event I did for the first time in Dynamics, Customer Insights Journeys, whatever, call it what it is. Because previously we've just gone straight into Teams and set up a webinar that way. So this actually made me really nervous. So I kind of feel like how our customers do, where they're like doing their webinars for the first time and we're like, it's fine, don't worry about it.
It'll be fine, call me if you need me, I'll sort it out.
It'll be fine. And I said to Amy before we started, I was like, I've made a view of check-ins and I don't see any check-ins yet. And I was really nervous about how it was going to work. But obviously people are able to join. We've got check-in records being created. So yeah, one thing that is interesting that I just wasn't aware of is that it checks you in for the event and for the session at the same time, which I just think I'd probably not ever thought it through before that it would do that. So you're registering for one or both sessions, and it will create a check-in for the event and for the session. So yeah, interesting.
That's useful, because then at least you get an overall number of everyone that attended the event.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I just never thought it through to that point. So the question about what type of Teams meeting. So I've basically done a Teams webinar, but and I didn't realize this, Amy, until one of our other calls where you'd said this, is that not all toggles, the different settings are available from within the event itself in Dynamics. So I've set it all up. And a wise person told me that if the setting is in Dynamics, it will use that setting. So I used all those settings. But the one thing that we need is we do like the green room so that Amy and I can be like, what are we going to talk about right before we start? So I set it all up, went into the webinar in Teams and use the meeting options and then set to the green room. So it's worked really well. The only thing that I hadn't even thought about is I set it all up and I said to Amy, oh, did you get the information about the event? No. And I hadn't put her email address on her speaker record. So then when I did, she got a bunch of test events that I'd used her name on before. So it was a good sort of like reminder or like a thought process of like, okay, well, what have I missed? What needs to be done that's slightly different? So yeah, it's worked out well.
It's looking
so
good.
What about events?
I think
have you done any?
So yes, events. Events is fun. There's been a lot of stuff actually that a lot of stuff is planning to go GA in September, which is exciting and terrifying and may explain why August was so quiet. Because I saw recently that the events API is scheduled to go GA in September. Payments, I think, is coming out on preview in September.
Yeah.
Some other stuff is going GA. So I think there's a lot of stuff coming, but also I've been transitioning a customer to start lighting up these new features for them. They already use the whole events platform. They have a full set of journey for automated comms. So I said, like, hey, let's start using the new stuff, which is obviously the wait lists, custom registration fields, and cancellations.
Okay.
So some of it's pretty simple. Get the cancellation form spun up, make it look pretty, and get that up and running. That's pretty simple. But then there is the issue with waitlisted. So I had to build a bit of a hack.
Are you gonna
I'm going to
show
show
and tell?
you. I'm going to show and tell. So the problem is so we've got a bunch of emails which are tied to the OG trigger, which is known as the marketing event registration created trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the emails hang off that. They're completely personalized, tied to the trigger. Going through them again would be an absolute nightmare. So the marketing event registration trigger only fires when the registration is created and they are registered automatically. If we're using waitlists, they go in as waitlisted. So this trigger will not fire, which makes sense. Call a spade. But when that person transitions from waitlisted to registered, this trigger also does not fire.
Even though it's created an event registration and that is the start of this journey?
Technically, it's not created. The status has changed.
Okay.
And I think they're trying to preserve existing functionality. So they've not triggered this trigger, and instead there is a bunch of new triggers, which is nice that we have a bunch of new triggers. So let's show these. Oops. So if you look in your standard trigger set, you will see, ignore the one at the bottom, we have event registration waitlisted, and event registration created from waitlist. So in theory, in the perfect world, so in theory, you're meant to have 3 different journeys running. So one is for registered automatically, one is for waitlisted, and then one is registered after waitlisted, which for me is just no. Like, that hurts my head. That's a lot of emails to maintain, because the message to me is the same whether I've registered directly or I've registered and moved from a waitlist. The message is the same. Yeah. I'm not going to maintain a different set of emails for that. Like, sorry, maybe you want to.
Yeah, the end result is that somebody is now registered.
Yes,
and that
exactly.
Yeah. Why would they not get the same set of emails? Okay, that's weird.
So I refuse to rebuild a whole set, a duplicated journey and all the emails and all the logic, because my life is too short. So what I have done is created a custom trigger. So I created a Dataverse trigger, a proper custom trigger that's called Start Event Registration Journey. Yeah. I passed in the reference for event registration. Okay. So what I'm doing is, let me grab the right journey. So I've used the out-of-the-box trigger for someone lands on the wait list. I'm then sending them an email, and then I'm waiting for the registration to be converted into a wait list, which is, again, the out-of-the-box trigger. So this is trigger number 2, which is waitlist marketing event registration created from waitlist.
Okay.
At this point, I'm firing my custom trigger, because you're not allowed to fire the out-the-box trigger in this context. I tried, because I was going to try and directly fire this trigger. You're not allowed. So I went through the back door. So I've created a custom trigger that fires a flow, and in that flow, I'm firing this trigger to start the journey.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous, but it was way less effort, way less build, and way less risk than maintaining 2 duplicate sets of journeys for the same thing.
That's terrible. That you really think that was the intent, is that they're basically like, oh yeah, well, you've got the end result is that someone has finally been registered. It shouldn't matter whether it was from a wait list or from an initial registration.
Yeah. So I had to go through the back door. So we'll try and get around to the blog post. The flow is really simple. It literally says, when this journey starts, fire the other trigger.
Yeah.
It's super simple. Like I have all the context. That's why I pass in the event rego and I just fire the trigger. They start on this journey like nothing ever happened and
Hmm.
everything is fine. So it was way less effort, way less baggage. But what a schmoz.
Oh wow, that's terrible that they added it like that.
So that's something to be aware of. And then the
Are
other
you going to,
thing,
I think she did, Margim, I think she did say she was going to blog about it, so
I
we
think
have
I'm
it
gonna
on
have to,
record.
right? I literally worked this out yesterday. I was like, no, this isn't real. It is real. Um, so then
Yeah, that is good to know.
the other
Okay.
thing I had to crack out was the registration cancellation page. So out of the box, it's pretty ugly.
Yeah.
But also when you come to edit it, there's no drag and drop styling at all. You've got to edit the HTML. So again, I might just add this to, or like have another
Put that in
version
your
of my.
blog.
I know it's going to have to be a separate one about the forms thing, right? So
Yeah.
making the forms look pretty. So you have to basically go into the CSS to make this look like your own. It's reasonably nice because the CSS is well formatted. But I will add to the blog post about how basically you'll see here you've got the background image and you've got to pass in a different URL and just basically smash it apart using CSS. Not great, but the end result is that it actually looks pretty cute. I also added this snippet in here, which is the unsubmitted feedback icon, because after you cancel the out of the box one, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it's like an icon of a calendar with a big red cross through it. And you think something's gone wrong, like it looks like an error, and it's like you cancelled. I'm like, oh, so I've just
It's
swapped that
really
out.
weird that they do, because you've got, well, actually, I would assume on there as well, but you know how you've got your option on your form settings to be able to say thank you message or redirect.
Yes.
So on the, obviously because I've been doing stuff with this, and all of you that are on the call should have seen this and had this experience, is that on the registration one, when you've got sessions, it will show which sessions you've registered for, and it'll give you like the final confirmation. So if you didn't know that and you put a redirect, then you've missed the ability to show like, hey, this is what you've registered for. Obviously you're getting a follow-up email and that's fine. But one thing that I noticed with that, and it might be the same with this, is not all styles within the CSS are actually in the CSS.
No.
So a lot of times you have to play around in the dev console and like look and see and then make your change in that, see what it would look like, and then put it in the CSS. So just because you don't see something in there doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And the other thing that I found, after painstakingly making something look beautiful on the form and then going and submitting it, and then looking at the CSS and putting that in, is that some of them use the same styles. So I was basically like,
oh, you were reformatting everything.
I was doing one thing, making it look pretty, and then messing it up and changing it in the other way. So it's always fun with CSS. I like it, but yeah, it's not done the best way, is it?
Yeah, it's like as well when you're someone that doesn't. I know CSS because I stab at it, not because I know it. If that makes sense. So like it's a lot of trial and error. But I'll just show you the cancellation form as well, just so you can all get a little look at what it looks like when it's pretty. And let's drag
Oh,
this
is this
guy
your
in
little
here.
hack where you can add the a thing to the end of the?
Yeah, so if I add the button into the email, this is all it does. It just appends the event registration as a parameter. So I just did it myself because I didn't have the email to hand. So it's pretty nice now. You can style it. This is obviously my logo. I've customized the button. There was also the event description in here. I was like, at the point you're canceling, I don't care what the description is. So I ripped it out. Do what you want with it. And then when you cancel now, instead of, or I haven't resized that obviously, but the default one for this is like this big red cancellation, so you can replace that with whatever. I messed up the styling. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. It's not beautiful, it's not stunning, but it's better.
It's better. And can you get JavaScript and actually embed that?
I've not tried JavaScript. This is all just CSS.
No. So on the form, do you still have the same concept of being able to get JavaScript so you could put it onto a page?
Oh, I did not try. In fact, someone asked me this the other day, and neither of us got round to it. But
Yeah,
And
so
then there's a script.
yeah, so you could still
But you
link
would
it.
need to pass the event regio ID in somehow.
Or would you, because you're seeing what it looks like on the standalone thing, but it would be worth knowing, okay, well, what happens when I put it into my own? Because if you think about a registration page, mine is embedded in my website. So if I was going to say, oh, if you want to cancel, click here, I would still try and put it in my own website so that the branding is full. So it would be good to know, because you're able to force it by putting that at the end. But what happens when it's on your page? Do you see it, or is it actually behind the scenes and hidden in the?
Yeah, I have no idea how I get past it.
Yeah. Well, you can
That's
figure that out
homework.
and write about it.
Add that to my list of blog posts and things to work out. Yeah. But it's really nice now. Like if you've actually customized the event form, the best advice I'd say is strip it back and then layer your customizations back on top of it. Because I've had to do that because they've changed a lot of the UI on the event form as well, which is, some people report it breaks everything. So I stripped this all back and got all the out the box stuff, then just added back the custom fields my customer wanted. And like the form experience is quite different. So there's a lot of stuff that's lining up that you need to actually often strip back to where you are at ground zero and layer back your customizations on. But yeah, it's getting exciting, but there's quite a few oops and gotchas.
I think that's one thing.
That's the logo. Like when I can strip out the styling.
Yeah.
You cancel, but it's
like
red.
an error. It does look like an error. I was going to say that's one of the things that frustrates me the most is when you've customized we're talking about, when we say the event form, we're talking about the dynamics form, what it looks like when you're going through it. Because I've customized so many times, I've done things, I've hidden things, whatever. But then I've got some customers now where you can go to it and that form tab doesn't even show, because so stuff like that, clients wouldn't even know that these things exist. Or you'd be like, oh yeah, click here and you can find this. It's not even there. So I find that the most frustrating. Same with on actual marketing forms. If you do anything and you add in custom fields, which I've seen people do, or emails as well. I've got a client that has all kinds of extra things where they're trying to track things about the emails. And then they end up unknowingly and at no fault of their own, because that's what you would expect as a customizer, to be able to go in and add new fields and things like that. So Microsoft have given us that ability to do so, but then they've almost been like, well, we'll let you, but then you won't see the new stuff. But you don't know. Yeah, you don't know you don't see the new stuff.
Yeah,
because
or
it's just
things
not
stop breaking. That's the other thing that happens. The forms, I've broken those before because the custom fields were blocking the new thing and the new script was arguing with the old script. The same, like if you look at these out of the box event form, there's like 80 different onload events in the script. 80? It is horrific. Like it needs a big overhaul at some point, because I looked at trying to patch it up and I was like, no.
Yeah, it would be nice if, it's probably at the point now where they've done so much with that it would be really hard for them to like say, right, let's not cause issues with customizations, because if we're letting you customize, we should honor those. To be honest, if anyone that has done that or is considering doing that and actually like adding tabs or adding custom fields, is create a second version of the form, so that you've got your custom version of the event form, and also allow it in the app so you can toggle back and forth, and then that way at least you can say, okay, something's not right. Let's look at the out of the box one. So yeah, bit annoying, but never mind. So what are we looking for in September? I'm just thinking, like,
when does the new release wave start? That's October, isn't it?
I love that it is October, but when you look at the items, you've got things that are already selected as they're in public preview. I'm just thinking in terms of, I guess it would be wave 1 release, like what's
items. Left over from it?
Right?
Wonder what's left. This
Let's
is
have a
totally off the
look.
cuff. I want to open it up now and see what's happened.
Let's have a look. Wave one. Oh, look, let me just share this because I found
Show
it.
me.
Well, so this is the post where you and I had our chat about
Yes.
it. So these are all the items.
How many
Whether
of them
they're
have disappeared?
whether they're all still actually, see, first one I clicked on, page not found.
That one's gone. I can tell you a fact. That one's gone. Export your data.
Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can get to the actual. Okay, so this is okay. We have
Okay, there's
these
there's quite a lot of
items.
stuff. Oh, it's all events.
Events, yeah.
Yeah, big month for events next month.
Oh, Amy, look, it's not. It's everything going GA. It's
Oh,
basically all of the things that are already have been put in. So yes, it's some event stuff, but so
yeah.
collect extra custom info. So that's the
Yeah, it's all the
custom
stuff going
registry,
GA.
yeah, custom questions, event portal stuff, create leads that link to an existing contact. That's your stuff
What's
on
that?
forms. That's
That's
on your
so
form.
long.
The wording for that's terrible, but that's on your form where you basically say I want lead and contact. Yeah, the audience type, event portal, and an extra attendee. This is sneaky because this one is exactly the same as this one.
Yeah. One's for forms, one's for events, though. Remember, because they rolled it out for marketing forms, then event forms.
Yeah, but
It's the same feature, though.
It's the same feature, isn't it? So that is. I hope that that's not what we have in the release notes for September.
That's gonna be it. There's no more than that. I bet you that's it. It's just like, hey, we did some GA things. Oh, there's some new stuff coming for events as well, though. I think in September, that's in the release wave 2.
Well, this is release wave 2.
Oh,
and this doesn't have September.
Oh, it's saying October. Okay.
It has October now.
Oh, right.
I wonder if it was September and they've changed it.
I think it moved.
Well,
it might come early.
I was going to say I have a recording of, not a recording, but I have a stamp of that. Hang on 1 second. So I've got the presentation that I put together for when we did that, and I've got the date on it. So no, October.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it did have October.
Filtering choices on forms, that's in the next release wave, isn't it? That's one of the things we spoke about in great detail. Oh, no, is that come out now?
No, here, October.
Ah, yes. Well, yeah. September's going to be boring. Cool.
September, well, we'll see. We'll still do a call, but...
Of course. Oh, yeah, I've already set the expectation there. I'll come up with another cool random thing by then. Come on. Got a whole month.
Don't attend the September session. Amy said it'll be boring. So, oh, Wolfgang's got a question. Good timing because we're coming to the end. So, what are both your thoughts on what the future may look like for customer insights journey, customer insights data more generally, low roadmap activity? It seems that CI hardly features in Microsoft go-to-market strategy anymore. Dedicated CI exams were removed, so I'm wondering where the product is headed. So, from my perspective, I don't do anything with customer insights data. Pretty sure, Amy, you don't. So in terms of the two together, I don't know where it's headed because I don't really pay attention to the customer insights data. But like I said, it's not my area of knowledge, skills, or expertise, and I'm not really interested in spending the time of becoming a SQL expert to be able to write really great queries to make it work well. Amy?
I think the reason for the exams is because they are currently still trying to overhaul the product. And I know for a fact I've been involved. The process for creating an exam takes freaking ages. Yeah. And they're not going to create it on top of something that they know is changing rapidly. So the exams disappearing isn't for me a massive concern because they need to create the exams when the content is a bit more stable. And it takes a long time to create a new exam. So I'm not too worried about that. And I think they're getting rid of the exam. They're going to bring it back as a combined customer insights exam. So they're more pushing towards them being one and together. To me, they are still very separate systems.
Yes.
And
Nothing changed other than the name. Like it's still,
yeah,
they still are the same as they always was. Two very different things.
A lot of work that needs to be done with CI data to get it to the sophistication level that CIJ is. Like, for example, like ALM, being able to do, like, currently you have an environment where you do CID, and it could be a dev, it could be prod, it's the thing. There's no pathways for anything like that at the minute. So it's got a lot of maturing to do before it becomes what I would see as a combined product.
Yeah. Do you ever, I don't ever see it become, it's kind of, the way I look at it is kind of like how when Microsoft had this big marketing push for Dynamics 365 and just created so much confusion, where now somebody's like, oh yeah, no, Dynamics 365. Yeah, but what? Is it finance and operations? Is it CE? And people that aren't either a consultant or don't have knowledge of those think that if you know Dynamics 365, you know everything. And I've yet to meet a consultant that knows both equally well and like on experts in both. I don't think it's possible.
No.
So
I just came up with a good analogy. Saying I know Dynamics 365 is saying like I know sports.
Yeah,
it's like exactly. Sport. All of them. Yeah. I know all the sports. All the rules, I can play all of them. It's like, no, you can't.
Exactly.
You can't. Yeah.
So I would say when you're looking at where the product is headed, definitely don't in your mind put customer insights together, because they are still two very different ones. And from my perspective, I don't see it being that you go to one place and you've got customer insights. I think it's too far gone. I don't think that those are going to be combined.
They're complementary.
Yes,
but they're very different skill sets. So you need to be with a big consultancy that has those two areas of expertise, or it's two teams that work together.
Yeah, agreed.
Another question I will read.
Question from Eric.
Eric asks, simplify forms by filtering choices based on previous answers. Is this more like Microsoft planning to bring customer voice surveys into CIJ? I wish he was right.
Well,
talk to me, Megan.
I don't know what knowledge I have that so I don't think this is no. I think this is because we've had it in outbound and we've yet to have it in real time. So this is them now saying, right, we know that there's a disparity between the two and we need to go ahead and say, right, this feature is now available. I heard rumblings a long time ago. This is why I'm like, I don't know if they'll ever do anything, but I heard rumblings that if you think about different form types, you've got marketing forms, you've got event registrations. It's still an event registration form, but you've got the cancellation. So you've got different types of forms that at some point maybe someone was considering, oh, maybe we'll do something as a survey type form. In theory, if you wanted to, because you have the ability to add in questions that that are custom, as in they're not needing a field to submit the data into, you could in theory create marketing forms that are actually survey forms. You'd then, for me, I think actually then that's, I don't want to say better than customer voice because they're completely different, but the fact then that you could actually have all of your questions that are based on a field on the contact, but then bring in your, what did you think about this experience? How was the support rep on your call? Blah, blah, blah. The challenge then, or the effort you have to put in, is that then you'd have to go and take that information and put it somewhere to be able to then do something. What do you want to do with it? So that could be that you're creating a custom table for survey responses, and then you take that. It would be something you could get either using JSON, or you could get the field submissions, so you could do stuff with it, but you'd have to use Power Automate. You'd have to put some effort.
Also, I think the main thing that's missing is like out of the box being able to do like show and hide, if then else without
Yes.
having to write heaps of JavaScript. That's the only thing for me that
Yeah.
stops me doing it for anything sophisticated. Is like, based on this answer, I want you to add a comment. Based on this, skip this question. You can do it, but it's yucky JavaScript that's super
It's a
unstable.
lot of effort. Yeah.
It's a
And Customer
headache.
Voice has it all out of the
That's
box in order
what's
to do
for me
that.
is like the missing thing, definitely.
Yeah. I think all of the extra stuff that Customer Voice has is superfluous. Is that a good word? I think the alerts, I think the fact that it has to go off and create an invitation first that just sits there, and unless they respond, the fact that it has to be a project. So you've got project, surveys, survey responses, survey invites, alerts, alert rules. It's so much extra crap that bloats your system. And the fact that Microsoft removed responses as part of the standard offering with a Dynamics license. They did that quite a while ago. They've not done anything in Wave releases for years. So for me, and I'm not sharing anything that's NDA, this is just writing it on the wall, observation. They've not done anything. They removed it from licenses. I see it will go at some point, and therefore they've got to provide something else.
Yeah.
Take from that what you will.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
I think that's it. No more questions. So as always, we appreciate you guys for joining and listening to us waffle. So we'll do it again this afternoon. Don't worry, you're not missing anything this afternoon. It might be slightly
you never know.
differently worded waffle. But it's essentially the same stuff that we're going to talk about on the next call. So, but we'll do another one next month and we'll promote it, so you'll be able to register again, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.